Something really disturbing is going on, and I'm almost afraid to talk about it. Almost. There's an episode of the Maury Povitch show. The talk show host who interviews people, finds crazy girls who get pregnant while they're in school, or strange men who marry their chicken sandwiches. But today was a day unlike any other. I tune in religiously to see Maury Povitch do paternity testing and find out if the man who may have impregnated the woman on television is or isn't the father. But something really, really fucked up happened this afternoon when I set the DVR to tape Maury Povitch. What I came home to was unlike anything I have seen on the program before. Basically, Maury looks really pissed off, angry. He had angry eyebrows as a man claimed to be the god of porn, wore a tiki adornment made of sausage, and danced using a tribal stick comprised of several dachshunds superglued together. It was strange, to say the least, but what happened next was truly fucked up. Maury looked really, really pissed. He started to mumble. He looked at the camera.
Ghost, witches, skeletons. It's a brew house of horror as we find out who the fathers of these paranormal entities.
He stopped, got up, and angrily stormed over to the cameraman, grabbing a cue card, tearing it up. I paused the video and noted that the right side of the torn note card said, "I'm Maury Povitch, and I suck my own cock." "It's called Pandora's Box, Maury." A bald man, painted white, completely nude with lipstick on, smiled at the camera. You could see the pain of his ass cheeks rubbing on the cheap plastic chair. "The box is opened and all the ills and evils of the world spill out. Leprechauns tap dancing in the street. Superman using his super strength to commit abortions on raccoons." He took out a revolver and pointed it at his own head as Maury stumbled over, trying to pull it out of his hand. He started yelling, "Cut! Cut!" as the man took out a pair of scissors and stabbed himself in the heart. Entire bottles of Smucker's jam pouring out of his pockets as he started crying and crying. The DVR clipped completely and the tape reversed, Maury giving the middle finger and walking backwards to re-enter the back of the studio where the audience wasn't allowed to see. You see Maury give an angry leer as he points at something with his middle finger. When he comes back, he's smiling as if that never happened, but the white makeup of the man's back and ass cheeks is still on the chair, along with signs of a struggle with a weapon and so much strawberry jam. Maury gets pissed off now, mumbles, "Jesus Christ!" under his breath. At the bottom it says, "Paternity test, but does Maury suck his own cock?" You see him walk back angrily, his eyes are bloodshot, and he looks disheveled as all hell. His hair is unkempt, his shirt isn't tucked in. You hear him yelling as three midgets wearing portions of clothing that represent a normal-sized person's shirt, shoes, and hat run out, squealing in agony. You see him shove them in a closet, and he locks the door, goes back to the front of the studio, and smiles even though he's shaking. It was time for the paternity test. A man with scaly orange skin was laying there angrily as cast members poured water on his scaly naked body. He was huffing and wheezing as though he could barely breathe. That man. He was a star man. A starfish man, part starfish, This was disturbing. He was huffing and wheezing and huffing. I can't be the father, he mumbled. He fell to his side, crying the tears of the ocean. I reproduce asexually. He started crying and gasping. Maury was holding a card that indicated whether the starfish was or wasn't the father. But the father of who? The camera panned to a live, woolly mammoth and a Sasquatch sitting in a chair staring. The Sasquatch was wearing women's clothing and had lipstick on. A female Sasquatch is called a Sasquatch, Maury said, still trembling. That's not even true, is it? He mumbled to himself. He my baby daddy. He knocked me up after a seaside dinner and drinks in the Western Pacific Ocean. Sasquatch went through a detailed story about how she was cast out for being too hairy, as she was actually just a normal woman, so they dumped her into the local river, but she refused to die, and after feeding on a variety of kelp, expired hot dogs, and sea prawns, she managed to survive and made her way to the briny bottom of Davy Jones' locker. At the bottom of the sea were several marine animals, including lobster, seals, and various kelp. The starfish offered to purchase her a drink of fermented seaweed, and after a night of hardcore debauchery, she woke up with a 3-pound lump in her stomach that she was certain wasn't a tumor. It was a baby Sasquatch. What Maury said next shocked me.
That's the most fucking stupid thing I've ever heard. You're just a hairy fucking woman.
Maury was pissed, and his evil eyebrows looked more evil, even more like eyebrows. Please, water. The starfish gasped as Cass continued pouring cold glasses of tap water on his wheezing body. Well, we're about to find out whether you are or aren't the father. I told you, starfish huffed. I reproduce sexually. Maury opened the note card, a look of shock on his face, and he screamed. Maury looked shocked, scared, nervous. I am the father? The Sasquatch screamed as her water broke, the placenta crashing all over the studio floor. The umbilical cord was still attached. The hairy, squirming, screaming baby Maury Povitch. Dada! It had Maury's head, the head of an adult male, middle-aged man, but a hairy body and tiny claws and a prehensile tongue. What appeared to be a thirst for human blood. No! Maury screamed. The starfish would have been excited that he wasn't the father, but the starfish man couldn't respond. The starfish man was dead. I heard the sound of mumbling of hundreds, millions of people, going and stealing Maury's lawn chairs while he screamed, the crowd being enveloped by all manner of creature, animal, plant, fungus, human, non-human, hybrid. Everything was fucking each other in the ass, screaming and squealing. I am the author of my own misfortune. Maury screamed and screamed and screamed some more. falling ratings, a need for prepackaged toothpaste, elephants and tigers fucking each other in the ass. I went to shut the tape off. This was one weird episode of the Maury Povitch show, and I'd work in the morning. Just as the tape faded to black, I saw the odd cast of creatures picking and tearing him apart, bit by bit, piece by piece. "My chairs!" he cried. "Protect my chairs!" "Father, I love you," the baby said as it bit into his thigh, cutting away chunks of flesh from his pinstripe trousers. "Close the box!" he cried. "Close the box!" He was wheezing and could barely breathe. "You are not the father." I canceled my cable after that. I burned the DVR in the fireplace, and I cursed the day that forsaken transmission ever traveled across the country and entered my ear canal and eye sockets. I think we can all agree that there are some things we're better off just not knowing.